Yo, what's up, Foolys? It's your boy Othree. Welcome back to the Othree Exhibit. This is exhibit number 35. This is for the family, friends, and followers of Pobreza. This is part 2. Part 1 was exhibit number 14. In this episode, we cover Pobreza's music journey, and it gives us an update on Pobres Tacos. Now for the story of Pobreza, part 2. Post up and enjoy. Back at it again. The story of Pobreza, part 2.
¿Qué onda?
You want to
What's
give us a
cracking?
quick update for how you been since the last time we talked on the podcast?
What's up? What's up, y'all? I know what this is. Everything's been pretty cool. Can't complain. You know, we're trying to get healthy, be healthy, live healthy, and all that. Get money.
That's
You know,
right. I'm gonna bring up.
fucking
I'm gonna bring
have
up.
the music on this side, family and business on this side. Well, business, music, family. So I'm kind of like trying to juggle marriage, trying to juggle everything.
Mm.
I am juggling everything. I'm not trying. I am juggling, but sometimes, you hit a fork in the road. You gotta choose where to go. That
Simon.
type of shit. But
Just a quick
always positive
reminder.
though. On a positive
Go
note.
ahead. Go ahead.
Nah, go
Yeah.
ahead.
No. Just finish your thought.
No,
I'll
I'm
go
saying
after.
always on a positive,
Hold on.
wavelength type
For
shit.
sure. Yeah. I'll fuck with that. You were here. It was a couple months ago. I don't have the exact date, but it was the O3 exhibit number 14. And in that episode, you kind of gave us a quick history of who you are and who you were. We talk about your childhood growing up, and you kind of like mapped out all the locations that you
Oh
at
yeah.
one point call home. We talking about your parents, and the one topic that we didn't cover was music. So I was like, you know what, let's have a part 2 so we could dedicate a whole conversation piece about your music career, because that's how we met, that's how we connected, and then we also have a group together. But also part of that original, the first part of the first part of the story of Pobreza, you were talking about your family business, Pobres Tacos. And
Yeah.
you kind of gave a history of where Pobres Tacos, the idea where that came from, the development. Since then, it's been almost like it's about to be almost close to a year. Where is Pobres Tacos now?
We're pretty much back gaining our traction that we lost from switching locations all the time. We just switched the first location, then we moved down the street, then we moved here to North Hollywood, and now then we moved back, and then we had a couple other little locations that we tried out, but they don't all work out or something happens, so we're back on Pico, and then now we're picking the traction back up, building our clientele, or even like having our old customers back. So we're pretty much like back up, going up the ladder again. Which is
Mm.
good. Yeah, a
If
couple. So I might have something new, something in store. I don't really want to get into detail, but something special.
uh,
You know, Still looking into it. Don't really want to, get into detail, but
me quieres salar, güey.
yeah,
You we talk about the history of Pobres Tacos, and you talked about the original location.
yeah.
And a quick reminder, how old were you when you first started it?
I was about, I believe it was two. I was about 22.
Okay. And it's
Was I?
been
Yeah, I could have been like 22.
all right, early 20s Pobreza,
Yeah,
knowing how it all has played out. One
yeah.
piece of advice you would have for the young Pobreza who is just starting up a taco business with his family, fool.
What like one advice I could give myself,
Simone, güey.
business wise?
Anything in terms of running the business.
Study business.
Mm.
Don't just freestyle your way to, don't freestyle your way around or try to like go around certain things. Just learn the business, learn the paperwork, learn the, like business plans or whatever, like all that comes with owning a business and having a business. Don't just
Every,
go and set up. Yeah.
Everything related that everything that's not related to the actual food and the setting up
Yeah,
part, right?
exactly.
The back end part of the business.
Right.
Because I'm guessing, based on your answer, is that you have the front end of the business down. You know, the
Yeah,
menu,
well, yeah,
the
that shit
food, and
was
all that
that
stuff.
that shit was down before tacos was like before we
Yeah,
started. Like the food at home has always been it, you know, as most
yeah.
Hispanic families, you know, like the
Simón, güey.
food at home is always the best.
Yeah, well, I want to thank you for sharing that, and I asked that because you know me, if I'm big on passing the information forward. I
Yeah,
believe in the message is greater than the messenger. But in your case, you're both, right? You're a messenger, but you also have experience, which serves as a message. And so anybody that's starting a business, especially like a food business, could learn from your experience. And I mean, it's not like we have it figured out either, right? Like you know,
yeah,
us with the music, you with the food. It's always good to pass down information, even if it's just small little nuggets of wisdom.
yeah, yeah. And I
So
feel like between like you and Dre, he was like you was like my smart homies, and the other homie Chris. You guys know like I like to pick from you guys a little bit because you guys know about Dre has knowledge about it. Where everybody has knowledge on something, and I learned to like you gotta learn, you gotta go deep, do more research about whatever you do, and you know,
yeah, well,
like
we
Chris,
we
we've been talking to Chris about like he's been talking to me about like crypto and all that shit,
uh,
and like I don't know shit about that, but like it makes me want to go and like study about it, and you getting me into like knowledge and shit, and like reading all types of books and all that type of shit, and being
marketing.
organized, and like you've been trying to get me on like ways to organize myself and organize the business and shit.
That conversation we had at the studio and shit.
Yeah, so
Uh,
and then Dre in general, just overall, is just like a big brother, a smart motherfucker that he'll check me like whenever I need to be checked or like shit like that. Anyway,
yeah.
out of kind of went out of the question on there.
No, that's cool. You know, I fuck with the answer and shit, and thank you for giving me a shout out, dog. Because you know,
Well,
like,
going back, listen to your homies, not all the time,
yeah.
but listen to the smart ones, and be open to criticism and advice and shit like that. That's why it's good to have some people that like tell you when you're fucking up or like when you could do better. You know, it's good to
Well,
have those people around.
I was just fucking around with the whole having the talk the conversation in the studio, but there is some truth. There's some truth to that, and well, I will flip it on you, and I want to say, you know, I give you a shout out, and I say thank you to for the opportunity to be able to share some of that marketing and branding wisdom and
Mhm.
pass it along to somebody that you know needs the same information that I'm collecting, right? Because
Yeah,
you know, at some point, I wanted to be a marketing and branding expert and a specialist. I wanted to have my own like marketing agency, and you know, we would have conversations about Pobres Tacos, and I was serving. I was using those conversations as kind of like my practice to become some kind of brand strategist and shit. So I want to give you thanks for giving me the opportunity because you could have just said, "Nah, fool, I don't want to hear you. I don't want to hear it."
yeah,
Like I got this. Right? And for you to be humble enough, and for me, I'm grateful that you allowed me to, you know, be able to test out my skills
yeah,
and it humbled me, fool, because there is a lot of stuff that you know I wasn't ready. Just because I read it from a book doesn't mean that it's gonna translate to the real world. And
yeah, yeah, yeah.
it was a cool little reality check, even if it was just for like a week. But we've had great conversations. You know, I've learned from you, and I'm pretty sure you've learned from me. Wisdom, like I said, gets passed down. I did have this fool Dre, Andre Lux. I think it was the O3 exhibit number 25. He was just one of the most recent guests, and he talked about his experience working at Pobres Tacos. So it was a cool little segment to hear about, you know, to hear another story about this this taco spot that I
Yeah,
like to call it the best taco spot in LA, but I'm just being biased and shit.
it's
Yeah,
okay to be a little biased.
yeah, shout out to Dre. Yeah, I like to like even like that's something that I didn't even think about until just right now is we I invite these people, right? And we have I have invited guests and we have conversations about their life. And some of my guests have businesses like yourself. And how dope would that be to have multiple perspectives of the story of a certain business? Because we have
Yeah,
stories of people, and now we're kind of like building, the lore.
experiences.
You know how the lore, the whatever the word is they're using nowadays, the lore of Pobres Tacos
Yeah,
through
yeah, exactly.
multiple perspectives and multiple experiences and shit.
Right.
And
Yes,
hopefully, get your maybe get your sister here one day. I don't ever see myself doing a podcast in Spanish, but if there were ever an opportunity presented itself, that'd be dope to get your parents on, especially your mom. That'd be dope.
I think we could do. I think we should do it. I think it's a good idea.
Spanish podcast. Yeah, I mean, I could talk Spanish. But I don't know if I could hold a conversation for 2 hours in Spanish, dog. Can you?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, I can, fool, but
You
there's
know, trip out. It's easier for me to hold a conversation with Mexican,
uh,
because but like with like another type of Spanish, it's
different
my slang will
dialects,
come
dog.
out. My slang comes out
Uh,
eventually, but like when it's for some reason, like not on the racist shit, but just that's just how it is.
no, it's the truth, right?
Yeah,
Everybody, all these Spanish speaking countries all have their own form
yeah.
of Spanish, dog,
Like
and everybody has their own slang.
I'm around a lot of Salvies, and like yeah, I can conversation, and whatever. But like I can't like. Well, it's not that I hold myself back or anything, but like the way I talk to somebody, to a Mexican person, it's hard to talk to like to like my suegro like that or whatever, like
Yeah.
no me vale verga que I don't talk to him like that, like so I try to be more proper,
Hmm.
I guess.
Yeah. The only reason I don't ever see myself doing a Spanish podcast is not because like I could hold I could hold a conversation for 2 hours, but it wouldn't be that kind of Spanish that would be like good for a conversation. Or I might just be in my head, I don't know, but it's the same way. It's like a slang kind of street level Spanish, Chicano
Right.
Spanish a little bit. But I mean, if the opportunity present itself, that'd be dope. Your mom would be a cool person to interview to have her perspective on Pobres Tacos, just to kind of
Just to go on with the whole, yeah, yeah.
wrap up this whole segment of Pobres Tacos. Just want to leave that right there. But let's get to the music journey, my boy. Let's start from the very beginning. Take us from day one. My question is, I mean, if you do remember this,
Yeah.
but day one, was it something that was just like in the moment, or was there an event that led up to it?
Not well, trip out, right? Like I didn't get into rap. Like when I wrote my first rap, a lot of people don't know that. Well, people that I talk about music with, a lot of people don't know that I wrote my first rap, and then I got into all the rock shit. I wrote my first rap when I heard like this Calle 13 song, and then I was like, oh shit, and it was in Spanish, bro. My first rap ever was in Spanish, and it was some dumb shit. I even showed my uncle. I was living on 57th in South Central. I wrote it down, and I just showed him. He's like, what the fuck, whatever. And I was like 13, and whatever. I had like a month, right, where I wrote, and then whatever. That shit went away, and I was just I was started skating and all that shit, and whatever. The rock shit came about, all long hair, all blacked out, all you know that shit. But then when I went to 10th grade, um, well in 8th grade I had a homie that put me on Wu-Tang, and then ninth I started like digging in more, but I was still kind of like a little like I was still on the rock vibe and shit
You're a
until
rocker
10th.
fool.
Yeah, like skating all the time and like long hair, all that type of shit. Then rock, like kind of like I just started. I always liked like old like classic rock, like Pink Floyd and all that shit. But I had a little era where I like super like screaming hardcore shit. But then I got fucking over it, and then I got over my long hair, so I took that off. And it's like regular. It was like a little phase of like 3 years that I had on that rock shit. And then whatever, I went back to Wu Tang. Just going back. Music when you're growing up and like you don't have like an older brother or whatever. You just go on Google, and I mean YouTube and whatever you find and you like and like like I randomly stumbled onto like Idea one day and I was like, what the fuck? From Idea and Abilities or like Jedi Mind Tricks or like weird ass rappers that you wouldn't even super
Like
fucking underground shit,
underground. Yeah.
like super extra underground that just you know that like Jedi Mind Tricks is mainstream compared to like certain artists that you find randomly.
Well, by this point, Idea had already passed away, right?
Oh yeah, I think when he passed away like doesn't
The
I
early
don't know what.
2000s. No, so I'm not a historian with that, but if you know who
Yeah, when I
Idea
found
is,
out about him, I think he had already passed. But whatever, like that's when it started. 10th grade, I started writing again, and I remember I was making my little videos on Facebook, put them up, or just me like rapping and shit. That's just
what year was this?
2000, maybe 2000 like 12,
Yeah.
like late 2012, 2013.
Yeah, how old are you're like 2 years younger than me, right? You were born 97?
I'm about to turn 28 in like a couple days on Wednesday.
Yeah. And so if you were in 10th grade in 2012, I was a senior going into my senior year. Yeah. So by this point, you didn't even get to experience MySpace music like I did.
And I had a MySpace and shit, like, but
But you never
well,
experienced it as an artist, huh? It was
nah, I didn't
you were
like,
already
nah.
making music when SoundCloud was taking shape and it was already the
Yeah,
next
yeah,
big
yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah,
Was your
2013.
was your name well you gone through multiple name changes. Did you have a stage name at that point?
Did I? I think it was like I been flowing or some shit like that.
Because your name, huh?
Yeah, because
That's
Ivan.
dope. Yeah, that's a. I always
But then
wondered
like,
where'd you got that email from.
yeah, and I've kept that. I've had that same email since.
I was like, why
You
is
know.
this? I thought it was like some random ass record label type shit you were trying to do, but okay, we get it now. 10th
Yeah, exactly.
grade, 2012, 2013.
Yeah, that's when
What,
I met
what,
2013. Well, I didn't meet him, but that's when I started kicking it with travel
mm.
from from DDL. Yeah, 2013 ish. We linked up because I mean we grew up together, right down 56. So we linked up, and then we pretty much started making kicking it, started making music till like I don't know how long it was. I'm not too good with probably like 2 years ago or some shit like that. Maybe a year ago or 2 years ago. Maybe one. That we just kind of went on,
Well, it's
our
been a
own
minute,
directions. He
though.
started his own another group. Then I linked up with you and I had some shit with Dre and Chris. But
So during this time where when you're starting to make music with Travel, shout out to Travel. What was life like during this time? How were you rapping? Were you
I
recording?
just
Was it just straight written?
yeah, just being the broke rapper, the high, the faded, broke rapper, you
Backpack?
know. Yeah, just straight like rappity rap. I didn't have no life, like I didn't go through life yet, so I couldn't, all I could do was rhyme, like try to put words together, rhyme. Didn't really have a story, or maybe I did, but I didn't know how to put it down. And I remember like always wanting to do shit, But then I couldn't do that. Like it was hard for me because I didn't have enough experiences or I didn't know how to pen it down, whatever. But I was just always smoking, drinking, and living the life of a 17, 17-year-old with no responsibilities. Mom's was always working, so me and Steve would always be at the crib, just find a way to get a little dime bag, and
Just to
just
get the
smoke.
fix
And he'll
thought.
come over with his machine. He'll come over with his machine, and I would just push it out on SoundCloud or whatever. Try to make
What
those
was
videos.
what was the process of making music back then? Was it spontaneous where you were just like, oh, I got an idea, even if you didn't have a beat? Did you need to have a beat? Would you write it down? Was it freestyle? Take us behind the scenes.
I would always either write on my own or whatever. Like I have a beat, maybe write to it, but not like usually trip out. Sometimes a lot of times I'll write a cappella and I'll just fit it to a beat. For some reason, the way I wrote, like I never really had to edit much. I just have to like it will like automatically land on beat. Or even if it's like on another beat. If it's like boom bap beat, I could fit it. I could fit it to mostly any boom bap beat. I'll just speed up or slow down, whatever. But it's always a little bit of everything. Sometimes write to a beat, sometimes no, sometimes I get an idea at the moment. So I could write in like 5 minutes, or I could write in like 5 months.
Mm.
Depends on what it is and how it feels. It's that like magic moment. Sometimes you know what I'm talking about. In music, you
Exactly.
have that
Yup.
magic moment
Yeah.
where it just happens.
During this time in high school, were there any like dope ass events that you went to that you kind of network with anybody else? Were you even networking? Was that something in your mind? Were you reaching out to producers, or was it just straight in-house you and
Nah,
travel?
bro. Like till this day, I'm like bad at. I'm not too good at none of that shit. Like I'll go to like rap shows sometimes, but I wasn't like constantly going to rap shows. You know, is when I met Steve, I just locked in with Steve. We travel, and then like I don't have too many. Like I don't have like a community of like what got me like a lot of people that I know now and that do music and that like know who I am and like whatever is through the tacos, through the festivals that I be doing and shit. That's one thing I'm real grateful for the top. I mean, if it wasn't gonna be myself, it was gonna be through the food and
Yeah.
the food opened that door and opened for conversation and I met a lot of dope people in the music business because of the tacos.
Mm. Yeah, I can see why that's one of the positives, right? Because I've seen you in action. I've been at the taco spot, but I've also been like one of your guests where you were a vendor at events, especially like kinds of shows and just being connected with the organizers or one of the
Mm-hmm.
organizers and taking a picture with them. That goes a long way during this
Yeah.
era, the social media era, the internet era.
Uh huh.
All it takes is one picture sometimes, and you know how it is, the classic story. All it takes is
Yeah.
one shout out, and boom, next thing you know, it could impact your business in a positive way. But then also, it props to you for using that opportunity to not only talk business like for the taco spot, but
Yeah.
also have the the awareness to talk to these music industry kind of folks about your
Yeah.
music, kind of plug it in. And it might be a little bit difficult, right? Because sometimes you have to write down the order and you kind of want to, do you have to hold yourself back when it's like an executive or like somebody that you could do good music with?
Oh no, like it just I be in the zone. Like it's part of me taking an order at that, like
Mm,
at that point. Like if I know that I fuck with whatever I seen you got on stage or whatever. Like I'm plugging myself in. Like I'm like, oh, let me follow you, follow me, and they follow me back, and you know,
mm.
yeah, like
So
that. That's
so
like
you,
a must.
so most of your networking has come through the real world, right? The people, the
Yeah,
people kind of connection.
without music being the main,
Ah, yeah.
you know. Just
that's
me
a good tip
me
right there.
feeding me providing a service,
Mm.
and then just me sneaking it in or whatever.
Hey, you might be more of a marketing genius than I am, dog. And I'm not gonna
I
call
don't know,
myself a
man.
genius.
And
This is a
then,
joke.
but that's just all like learning because I used to like be the quiet one in on the side on the grill, you know. When I mean, you heard Dre talk about it last time. He was the one taking care of the customer service, and I learned a
Mm-hmm.
lot from him too, like how to like not how to talk to people, but like how to approach people in a professional manner.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I, and then after that, I combined a little bit of that to like just learning how to be like my. It sounds stupid, but learning how to be myself to people, not being like in the cut, like shy to talk and shit. I used to be shy as fuck to like interact or whatever with people, but now it went away, bro.
Uh,
You know, it went away after a while. Now it's second nature.
uh, I know. We mentioned your mom already in the previous episode and the first part of the story of Pobreza, and we mentioned her in this episode already. She seems to be like one of your inspirations with a lot of facets of your life, right? But
Yeah,
what was her perspective of all this? Like, what does she think of you making music?
nothing. Like how Mexican people are, bro. Like not Mexican people, Mexican like our parents. I'm sure at some point your parents were like, "Oh, this fool, whatever."
Uh,
Go you say you're a rapper. Like
oh shit.
they didn't believe me until like the video that I did with the Spanish track that
Mm.
when I'm wearing that purple joint.
Oh, that's just recent.
Yeah, they didn't give a fuck. Not that they didn't give a fuck, but they didn't like take me serious until then,
Mm.
till barely. Like what, like a year ago?
So she wasn't supportive, but she wasn't unsupportive at either, right?
Yeah, she was. I'll tell her I'm gonna go record. She's like, "Oh, I can tell bien," or like she's never asked me, "Oh, how's the music going?" or
Ah, yeah.
till this day, she don't really like. She's just like that's something I like to do, and that's something that I do. But they be in another. There's like they be in another world,
I
They be
mean,
in their own. They be in their own world, I guess.
it's a kind of support. It's like the silent support, right? Because she could have just straight up told you, like, nah, mijo,
She
you
never
gotta.
shut me down though. Nah, like no, like oh, what the fuck you doing or whatever. Nah, it's straight. Okay, you do what you do,
Mm.
Which I'll take it. Yeah, I'll take that. That works.
What about your pops?
My pops, he'll be more. He'll ask me a little bit more about it, like when you dropping something or like anything new or when you're gonna go record, just randomly here and there. But say I feel like same though. He didn't like really think I was coming until that until he seen like oh shit
He's doing it.
yeah
I know he's before I hopped off social media. I know we were sharing a lot of our collabs, and after a while, at some point he followed me and he would engage with the post. He
yeah
was like, "Oh,
yeah
his pops is here. He's supporting. He's always putting the fire emoji or some shit.
yeah
He's
yeah
he's
yeah
engaging that, and that's dope.
exactly
You feel me? And he's I've seen him vibe to the music and shit. And I know your mom. She's always asking about the music. She was there. They were both there when we were doing the. I know the video never came out, but when we were recording the music video for Los Angeles back
yeah
and what was it, Memorial Day weekend last year,
mm-hmm.
when we met up right there at your crib, and we're doing the performance and everything. We had the mic out and all kinds of other stuff going on and shit. So I seen them, support you, but
In
I
their own ways,
guess
yeah.
and yeah, in their own ways, right? What about Cass?
Cass,
Yeah.
she's supportive. She's supportive, you know. But again, like since it's not. I feel like the style
Hmm.
has a lot to do with it. So they're like, oh, this raps, and
He's a
for example,
rapper.
Cass, she'll like my shit and say it's dope. But I know her like what she likes is like the new
Yeah,
like the Bad Bunnies and the Drakes and shit.
yeah. Enough said, dog.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I get
What?
it. I don't, but she'll tell me like if I show her something and it's whack, she'll tell me. She's never had because I've never showed her no whack shit.
Yes.
I never showed nobody no whack shit. I don't think I've ever been. I haven't been good, but I've never been whack.
Uh,
There's times where I wasn't good, but I wasn't whack though. So she's always like, "No, you sound dope all the time,
what about your other family? I know you have a sister, and
bro."
I met some of your cousins and shit.
It all happened with that video.
Oh, for real?
I'm a lot of coffee. It all happened with that video. And everybody was like, "Oh yeah, he does his little videos," but it wasn't until that one and then and the one I did with Dre.
Mm.
With those two, pretty much the latest shit. The only shit I have that the last what year. So those two joints, let people know that I'm really like serious about the craft. But I
I'm
mean,
trying
I
to
don't,
think. You don't really have that many videos now that I think about it.
no, I don't, bro. Like that's where I'm at. Like that's why I want to. That's my one of my New Year resolutions is
Music
pick it
video?
back up. Cause like I was saying at the intro, trying to juggle everything. Kind of.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to lean forward, lean too much on like the business or the family. Obviously, I'm a dad 24/7. I'm a husband 24/7. When it comes to business, I'm probably like 80% of my time. 70. I'm trying to like put most of it, a lot of it into business. But I also want to put a lot of it into the music. That's what I'm saying. You only have 100%. So trying to divide it by four,
It's interesting.
eh, you know,
It's an interesting.
without
I
like
can't relate.
feeling
I can't say I can relate, dog. But
right,
we've had
without feeling
discussions.
like too much, leaning too much to one side or too much to the other.
Yeah.
So I like to have my days where I'm 100% everything.
Uh, okay, that's good to
That's
know.
that's a little better
Hey, see,
mentally too. Like,
everybody has their own system, right?
but what I do is I don't stop writing.
Mm.
Mornings, get my coffee. I just automatically it's like second nature. I open my phone. Well, I wouldn't call it writing then. I open my phone and start like going through beats and
No,
text
we still call
lyrics.
it writing. It's not writing
Yeah.
anymore, but
I
it's
just
a
got me a
term
new
now. Yeah.
notebook too. I want to start getting busy with the pen again.
I've tried to. I just can't fucking read my handwriting after a while, dog.
Not only that, English not being my first language, like I know a lot of fucking words, but I don't know how to spell them.
Mm.
You know, I know a lot of words, their meanings, and how to use them,
How to
but
pronounce this shit?
I be spelling them like shit. Yeah.
That's me when it comes to Spanish. Like I know how to write Spanish, but there's certain words I don't know where the acento goes and shit like that.
Uh huh.
But I'm like, does that even matter? It's just a rhyme book as long as I know how to say it. Right? But
Exactly. You
overthinking it sometimes and shit.
know what I'm saying? And having to scribble or erase takes time, bro. Like then now your shit, you don't know what's what. Like you fuck a word up and you want to erase it, then you gotta cross it out. Like
I just got used to
like
sometimes
I
writing
could
in
like I
the
said, I could
dark
write a verse in 5 minutes, so I need to be able to like delete,
quick.
copy, paste. Sometimes I'll bring the second stanza to the top, and it's easier for me to do it through the phone.
Yeah.
You know, say, let me check.
Handle, handle.
My bad.
I know we kind of covered the topic of music videos. Let's get into the music videos a little bit. And how many music videos you have off top right now?
On my channel, too.
In total, I mean, we have the two Grima ones. You have the two on your channel,
One with Chris.
one with Chris, and you talking about the one that helped you film, right? That
Yeah.
one, all right, and that one, and then whatever happened to the music videos from DDL? You still have those up?
Oh, there might be somewhere, but no, I don't have those. I don't
So
have
you
those on my
probably have like
channel.
around 10, a little less than 10, maybe.
Yeah,
right?
I've done a lot of videos, and it might be lost out there
Mm.
somewhere, you know. But right now, up official that have my name on it is those.
You remember the first one you recorded?
The first video,
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah, it's called the Have Nots. I think.
Is that the one? Is that the one where you're wearing like a, I think it's like a jacket and a hoodie, and you're wearing Tim's, and you're walking in like an empty field
No, that
or
might
like
have been the second one.
a vacant lot or some shit like that?
Yeah, that might have been the second one. The first one, it was on the train. I was wearing like a on a train and like on in an alley in LA in downtown.
I don't think I ever seen that one.
I was like recording it in a train.
And these were all during your era of DDL, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's how I remember the second video, the one we were talking about. That's the first one I seen you. That's the I mean technically that's the kind of the first time I
I
ever.
think it was called like that one that we talking about. It might have been called like the Big D or some shit like that.
That was the first time
With the
because it.
bat and the
Yeah,
boots
yeah. This was right
and the pants
before.
up.
This might be
Want to be
around.
Red Man? Yeah, that one.
I think he even sampled him in the track. No, I don't know. Is
Yeah, I
it?
think so. Yeah,
Yeah, it was
yeah. I
around
was
the
on
time when
like
we connected. I was like, oh, let me see what these fools are about,
I was on
right?
like I had a little arrow like heavy like muddy waters
Mm,
type of vibe, you know?
yeah. I think it also had like a fisheye lens. You recorded
Yeah,
with a fisheye lens, right?
yeah. I remember that. Yeah,
Yeah, these are the DDO music videos, and then we'll talk about Grime Life in a bit too, but we have two music videos. We recording the same day. Shout out to my primo and shout out to your primo. They both helped us out, and well, Exodia, my cousin, and then your primo helped us out with Grime Life, the self-titled video. And then you have these newer videos, the one you did with Press Sinatra, and then the other one where it was you and Dre and Nova, and my favorite one that you've ever released is probably the one with Prez, right? But
yeah.
I
That one
have to
have to
be
bomb.
biased. I have to be biased. I like the Grime Life one because it's in an alley. It's dark. We mounted my camera on the back of your cousin's whip. I have that
Yeah,
little it's like a little, I don't even know how to call it, a car mount.
yeah. That shit was dope.
That shit was a cool one. Exodia was dope too because of the location. But in terms of like quality, dog, and the edits and all that, fool, the fucking one you did with Press Sinatra was dope and shit.
Yeah. The dude that made the video, he goes by Based Prod. That was dope. I'm gonna have to hit him up again for some more for future work. He's cool. He's cool dude, and he got down for sure.
I don't like
Got
doing
down
this,
for sure.
but do you have a favorite music video?
Definitely. I feel like the one with which was it was dope. My two favorite ones, the experience wise was Exodia and Dollar Dreams with Dre.
Mm.
Just the whole like kicking it, you got some grab a beer and like vibe out with the homies,
We were
And then
drinking,
the other
yeah.
one, it was Nova, homie Nova, and the homie Who Is He from Stop Dreaming.
Mm.
We all like kicked it and went and got some burgers, got some beers and shit. So that to me was the experience, and those two are my favorite when it comes to experience. Obviously, when it comes to the quality and the edits and shit, for sure the one with Prez and Bass, but I didn't really know them. You know what I mean? It was more like a collaboration between three dudes.
Yeah, you were there for business.
Yeah, exactly,
And with us, I remember we kicked it for like an hour, dog, before we actually started recording Exodia.
exactly.
Remember that shit?
Yeah,
Is in
exactly.
that one spot right there by the old Sears.
Yeah,
Uh, there's a couple DDL ones too. I think an underrated music video that you have. that I liked is the one where it's just you and you're rolling up a blunt. You're wearing like a red jacket. You know what I'm talking about? It's like a fisheye lens. And I think you did it in your living room. You're sitting down and you just
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That one was dope.
that's an underrated music video that you dropped. That's
It
somewhere.
was
I
it
think I
was
just
it
seen
was
it, fool.
it was real quick. Like it was like a minute.
Mm.
And Steve let me borrow his jacket, you know what I mean? And he let me borrow his gear, and then because I didn't have sick gear for the video, and then Steve was like, hey, oh,
Yeah.
let me see that jacket real quick, and yeah, and it came out dope.
We talked about your first music video. How far into your music journey did that happen?
My first music video,
Yeah.
um, well, like I said, I had little videos on YouTube. I mean, on Facebook, but not music videos.
Mm. Like the low performance ones and shit?
Yeah,
Or
just
where
like
they're just like fuck around freestyling and shit?
we just rap, you know. But the first one, pretty much. I wouldn't know exactly like timeline wise. I'm not sure, but it was around like when I was 17.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's like a year and a half, really around the same time that you
yeah,
started, right? You were kind of brand new to it.
yeah,
What about your setups and your studio or studio time? Let's get into that real quick, like your original setups and the progression of that. Have you ever had
yeah,
your own setup?
yeah. So I pretty much had my own setup like the whole time, the whole fucking time. Like when I wasn't that good, I already had like I bought a mic and whatever, for since the since the very beginning, kind of. I already knew I needed to get a mic, and I was fucking with Logic. I got good at Logic for a while, and then surprisingly enough, I haven't had my own setup like the last 2 years. And it's either been going to the studio or kicking it with Dre, doing it at like he'll bring his setup. But now I got a new computer, like I'm trying to get back on there. But Pro Tools and all that shit, you know how it is. That shit is, and
Uh,
then mixing and mastering.
it's a different headache, dog.
Yeah, bro. Like I want to rap, make videos.
The fun
That's
shit,
it.
dog. You don't
All
want to
this other
engineer?
shit like slows me down, bro. I'm like, nah.
What the engineering part?
Yeah, like learning how
Compressors and shit.
setting up a mic now is so fucking difficult. Setting up the mic alone and download fucking all sorts of applications just to connect your interface, bro. What the fuck? Nah, I'm not with all that shit.
But we
That
did
shit like by the time we fucking connect the mic, I'm burnt out.
well, I remember funny story, dog. Tell him about the day we went to Pirata Studios for 4 hours and did nothing.
We talked the first two. We had like an hour left trying to set up the mic. No fucking way, bro.
We left early and shit.
Yeah.
That shit
I'm
was
like, man,
funny
I'll
as fuck.
record four verses in the next hour. Yeah, right. When we linked the mic up, fucking time was up.
Yeah, it was we had a similar experience too the first time we went when we did when we were trying to record the Grime Life track and
Yeah,
shit. We spent how many hours just to do one song?
like I don't know, but we were
I
there for a
believe like
long time.
four then, huh? Like 4 hours
Yeah.
too, dog, just to record one song.
Luckily, like I feel like y'all three figured it out. I was just like in the back, ready to rap.
Man, I
You
just
guys
learned how
talking
to do
about
all that
what
stuff because I
he's
didn't want
fucking
to.
like
I just want to do the same shit. I just want to have fun. I want to do the rapping.
yeah.
I don't want to care about the engineering, but I just had to learn out of necessity and shit. Yeah,
Just
but I
thinking
don't
about it now, kind of like
pisses me off. Like,
yeah,
besides
rap.
Pirata Studios, you ever paid for any studio time?
Not nowhere else. No.
No.
So I've been at home. Yeah,
You ever
when
had
the thing I
the
did with Prez, I recorded it at like some little space he was leasing. Yeah.
Oh, I remember. Yeah, and then I don't remember, dog. I got a whole fucking photo shoot we did at that one little spot. That song never came out, huh? That song you did with Dre that day?
Um, no,
No, huh?
no.
Yeah. And then obviously we did Exhibit A here at the ozone layer and shit. Yeah, I think yeah, I don't think I ever really was that type of person to wanna pay for studio time, right? Because a lot of these studios they tell you either you bring your own engineer or you have to pay extra for the in-house engineer, right? Which is a
But like,
little
what
bit
the fuck does
pricier.
he know? What the fuck does he know
It was in my
about
head.
your vibe? You know, like, yeah,
Yeah,
you could tell him and shit, but he's there trying to get paid, and that's it.
come on.
Like, that's why it's good to have one fool that, like,
Knows what's up.
dedicates himself to that. But till then,
We gotta ride the
headaches.
struggle bus and shit. Damn, yeah, that shit. It's a headache too, dog. Don't get me wrong. It just it's cool when you have full control over the process, but
Yeah,
it sucks when half of the process is the type of shit that you don't want to do. So
yeah, exactly.
take the pros
The,
with the pros and the cons with the cons.
exactly. But again, like you said, we just want to have fun, you know.
Let's uh let's wrap up the whole. I know we kind of like went in different directions, but tell us your story of being a member of the Sky's the Limit. We already kind of talked about when you and Travel started making music. How far into the music journey, your music journey, did the idea of DDO come to be?
That idea was that they were already a thing. Like
Mm.
I met Dre one day when Travel introduced me to Dre. One day he's going to the valley. He's like, "Come pull up, pull up to the," because he'll go and then he'll be at my house sometimes. And I knew like, oh, he's going over. Like I knew he'd be over there sometimes, but I didn't know Dre. And he'll be with me sometimes. And I'll hear about Dre and like I'll hear some of the shit that they've been working on. And Dre was coming in with the heat. So then I'm like, fuck it, I'll go with you. We took the bus up, took the bus over to the Dre's crib, and that's how I met. And they already like had their little duo gangstar vibe going on.
Yeah,
And then I pulled up, and they just I don't even think they asked me or I asked them, can I join? It was just like this was here. He's always here now, so and I was just hopping on all the tracks, so it just kind of organically just fell into place.
I'm pretty
That
sure you
happened.
were you were
Go ahead.
releasing music on SoundCloud at this point, right?
With them, yeah. Before that,
Yeah.
I mean, I like two little whack tracks up there. Not whack, but mixing mastering wise and not fully produced or whatever.
But you fools were dropping DDL projects and or just solo projects.
We're just dropping. I want to say singles.
Mm.
I did have like a. I did have like a little EP called Under the Rubble, produced by Travel entirely, and that one was dope. I want to find it. I was saying a lot of dope shit. Like I was like before my time type shit. Like it was sounding dope. I was just not executing it properly, and the mics and all that were boo boo.
I remember hearing it. Yeah,
But
quality
like
was
one
different.
or two tracks on there, like I've been thinking about just redoing them, but I gotta go back listen to them because they're hard. But
At this point, are you already craft star or
yeah, doesn't have. I don't know why that. I don't know what it was. Point is, I went with that. I went with Craft, and then Travel put like I think he put the star on it. And yeah, I wrote it down on the wall like I put Craft, he put a star, and it sounded sick. This is like all the dope foods put the star. You know what I mean? Like Fredo Star, Gangstar. It just sounded dope. And then it was unheard of. there was no Marlon Craft at the time, so it was dope.
So y'all fools are doing music, right? And y'all
Right.
start working as a group, and then time goes on. Do you fools ever perform as a group?
No.
Mm.
At the me and Travel did at the beach one time at a like an open mic they had right there. But other than that, no, not really.
Have you ever even performed, fool? I don't think we ever had this conversation. Besides that one time.
Not
Now that I
no,
think about it, not
not like in front of like not really,
people,
bro.
not in front of people like that.
No.
Oh, that was a. How did I miss that? I don't
Yeah,
think we ever had
no.
that conversation. I don't think we ever did have that conversation. Now that I think
Like
about it.
just ciphers and shit like that, yeah, but like
Okay.
not like to like on a stage,
Mm.
not really. Not
You
not yet.
ever, you ever battle rap or nah?
Just amongst you
The
know,
cipher stuff and shit.
yeah, but like me and Dre will battle rap all the time. At the tacos, we'll get on each other's head like disrespectfully, you know.
I always
Or
heard
like to
those
like
shit.
write disses and all that shit. No.
Nah.
Or like freestyle rap, nah, bro.
So okay, so you fools didn't really perform, man. We already kind of covered the music videos
Yeah.
and everything, and you know the how y'all connected. Were you doing any solo stuff? Well, I mean, you kind of say that you weren't really clicking with anybody besides travel. Was there any plans of doing like a solo album or anything like professionally done?
I don't think my like I didn't think that far like ahead. Like it was just
Straight underground?
yeah in the moment. Like it's always been like an artistic thing, like outlet. It's never been well. It wasn't anything about like signing to a record label or like putting out quality music videos or even like Spotify and all that shit. Like all that shit is like I have an ego as a rapper, like my that I'm fucking better than most. But like to beg people, not beg, but like hear me out. Like I don't have that desire for like everybody to fucking listen to me or like let me get on the mic, let me get on the mic. Like you know what I mean? Like to go and on an open mic, like unless I'm feeling that way that at that moment, like I'm feeling myself, like at least let me grab the mic. But like to go and sign up for some shit, bro, like for some reason I'm not that type of like
Uh,
person. I like showing people my art or whatever, but not on that like you know how like thirsty rappers. Not like everybody gets on the open mics is thirsty, but like going up to a rapper like sign me or like all that type of shit to me like I'm kind of like man like once you know like once you fuck with me and you know I'm dope and word spreads around.
you want them to do you want them to find the art, the craft and the art first, and that's you want them to connect through that, right? You want the
Yeah, yeah,
music to speak
exactly,
for itself?
exactly.
Mm.
People that like I don't tell the whole world like yeah make music follow me rap like no I don't like if it comes up or if it's me like if I'm at the festivals like we talked about yeah it's the thing it's the topic it's just, but there's a line that I don't I don't know if it's I'm hungry to be but I feel like I'm on a different lane.
Mm. I mean, I'm kind of the same way, but in what was it, 2019, Dre's older brother and the homie Chino connected on some business shit.
Yeah.
And the homie Chino was like, yeah, that fool's younger brother raps. I was like, tell him to send me some shit. I want to hear it. And I heard uh Dre stuff, and then that's when I heard your stuff. So I already knew
What you
what
hear
you
from me?
the Under the Rubble.
Oh, you heard it.
Yeah, and then I went on YouTube, and that's when I was finding all your fools' music videos and shit. Cause I got connected with Dre first.
Yeah,
Once the homie sent me the link, reached out to Dre and we kind of connected on some music shit, and then he was like, "Yeah, I'm part of a group, and this is DDL," and I kind of went down the DDL rabbit hole for a bit, and after that, the idea of doing the two songs that were at one point in one of my mixtapes, the idea of those songs came to be, and when I heard Pendulum Swings, I was like, "Oh shit." Like, because it was just the three of us, Dre, myself, and then you. I was like, "Yo, this just sounds hard." And then when we did that second one about weed, when it was the four of us, I was like, "Oh shit, like this is cool." And I got, like as a rapper, sometimes because I'm kind of the same way. I'm not gonna go out of my way to try to go and connect with fools that are similar and ride a similar wave. Like if it happens, it happens. But I want it to happen organically.
yeah,
But a part of me always wanted to feel like I was in a small community of like-minded rappers. And it's kind of hard because we have a certain style that's not popular in LA. It's underground, and it's some of the beats that we were rapping on were East Coast, New York, 90s type of rap. So it's kind of difficult, not too difficult, right? Because it is LA, so there's a scene for that. But you're not gonna go out of your way. I wasn't gonna go out of my way. And we were just working on some music. I was like, yo, this shit is dope. And then how far after that? Oh, because then you dropped the mixtape Hunger Pains, right? After we collabed and shit, you dropped that mixtape with you and Dre.
yeah. That's
Talk
when we
about
started experimenting with like more like faster flow, up tempo. Not even faster, just some of them were on a faster tempo, some of them were not, but just different schemes, different like newer beats, newer type of beats. Not necessarily always just boom bap. I thought we did pretty good, but for some reason, like boom bap just dragged me back. Not dragged me back, but pulled me to that side a little bit more again. Now, like growing up, going through life and shit. You know, I
uh,
was saying earlier, I would always try to write about myself and my story, but I couldn't do it because I didn't have. Not that I didn't have one, but it wasn't there. It wasn't there. I wasn't there mentally, or it was not the time.
mm.
And now that I'm trying to do rapidy rap, sometimes I can't do it. Now it's switched over. I can't do it. I sit there and I write a couple lines, and I just want to go back to talking about, you know,
Mm.
whatever I've been talking about.
After we collabed and you dropped Hunger Pains, how long after that did you and the other two fools go your separate ways? It wasn't that like it was like a couple years because it's 2019 and we connected late 2021. Think about that. So from 2019 to 2021, a lot of things changed, right, for your music career.
Yeah,
So was it during 2020 when you decided to go your own way?
it
Or
was around 2020
2021?
when late 2019
Oh,
when the whole taco when I started the business.
okay.
It was
Because
around the
then,
same time I started the business, and we started like I started kind of me and Dre started working together a little more often. We started going our own kind of yeah
yeah, I would one day I would love to have travel on here just to complete the full circle moment, just to have the whole
yeah.
story of DDL. But so now you go your own way, right?
On that note, we do got some in the works.
Oh shit! I
Probably
mean,
coming. I don't know coming out. I don't know when, but we've been
with the three of you fools?
no with me and Chuck.
Okay, okay. So that's good to
Yeah, yeah.
that's good to know. So I mean, over between 2019 when we first collabed to the end of 2021, we started our relationship started expanding, and you would come over and travel would be here sometimes. Sometimes he wasn't. And Dre never really pulled up to my pad like that. This was kind of around the same time I was trying to do like Stay Rowdy, and I was trying to get involved in other stuff besides music. And I was already, full-fledged engineer mode. I was like building my fucking home studio and everything. I had my own
You had a lot of
space,
shit fucking going. You had your whole whiteboard full of fucking.
full of fucking content and
Going
everything.
back to the organizing shit, I'll pull up
Yeah,
and I'm like, what the fuck? Writing
and
shit
it's
on whiteboards and shit.
I still have it like
You
that,
know?
but it's not as detailed as it once was. I kind of like had to tone it down. But we would talk about collabs, and it never really happened. Or a lot of the collabs would be through DDL, right? But then eventually you went your own way and didn't really talk to Dre like that, and with travel, I didn't. I think he like deleted his social media. I don't even know, and
Yeah, he did go out for a bit.
so like everything just kind of like just happened quickly, and then I'm focused on my stuff, and you guys are doing your own thing. But at one point, at 2021, you hit me up, right? Because you had
Yeah.
heard was it Global, right? Was it Global? You heard Global, and
I was like, yep. That should change. That should change my perspective too a little bit. Cause before that, I wasn't doing. Even though I said the first rap I ever did was in Spanish, it never came back up. And I thought I wasn't even paying attention. Cause I'm like, nah. Like, how am I gonna? Even though I grew up speaking Spanish, it is not the same as fucking writing it and rapping it. You know?
yeah. And then so
But
when you hit me up for like, I was in shock because at the time I didn't want to do. And I was kind of like wanting to do the Spanish rap, but I wasn't really committed to it. Kind of the same thing. I was like, I know how to talk it, but like my main language is English. Like I'm rapping in English, and I will throw, up until that point, Global was probably the most I've ever had in a verse that was written in Spanish. And then you hit me up, and at first it was just gonna be one song, huh? Remember that shit?
yeah.
They pull up, and it was you showed me the beat, which eventually became Veneno.
Oh yeah.
At what point? I think it was like right away, full right, like we were like one song turned into two songs, and two songs, so then the whole
You know what it
project.
was, bro? And like yeah, I feel it all the time when I see you or whatever. It's just that like the Mexicanismo, you know what I mean? The
Yeah.
Mexicanism or the Mexican something. It's just something that like I could tell you inside joke Mexican shit and you're gonna get it. We could talk about some old ass weird ass or Mexican shit or show or whatever, and then we're just gonna get it. And we're like Dre or Steve or like they're more
It's a different vibe.
Americanized. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And we I could talk to you in Spanish a little bit. Everything you're gonna understand. That's what we clicked on our end.
There was one day, dog, we got drunk and we were watching Chivas highlights. Remember that shit?
I bet your history was like,
Just straight Chivas 2006. We were going down the whole roster, dog. Pedros is fucking drinking a tequila or some. We were drinking some shit. That's that was that was kind of what the behind the scenes of Exhibit A,
yeah.
right? I want to talk about Exhibit A, and then how we formed Grime Life. I want to hear from your perspective, because I could easily get lost and tell my side of the story, but I want you to tell your side of the story.
From linking up the first time. I mean, a lot of that shit is blacked out. A lot of like I just remember pulling up, but I don't never remember leaving. You feel me?
Those moments were crazy. That Exhibit
But
A,
it's always a good time. If
uh,
sometimes we wouldn't even work on music, we just sit there and talk about life.
oh, I
You know,
remember so many stories from that time. That the day that you left at like 5 a.m. and we were in my backyard, and the sun was rising, and we're drinking Fireball.
remember you wanted to hit the blunt because the sun was coming out, and you started panicking. You started tripping.
I was like, "What the fuck, dog?" I was tripping out because it was some man, and then you could probably agree to this, but it was something special about connecting and figuring out we had a similar, not similar experience, because our life experience is way different,
Mhm.
but the way we saw music, right, and the way we kind of had like our goals in mind,
Yeah,
they weren't like too conflicting, and they weren't like overlapping, but they kind of were. Right? So it wasn't like it wasn't. You know what it was? It wasn't competitive. Like it didn't feel like you're stepping on my toes and I'm stepping on yours. It was like no ego involved. It's
yeah,
like we kind of knew our lane, but we made it work. Made it work and shit. And I give credit to you, fool, because it was you who pushed me to take this Spanish shit a little bit more serious, dog. And it wasn't. I've never written a full verse in Spanish, and I never really got to that Exhibit A. I love Exhibit A because and I said I wasn't gonna take over, but I love Exhibit A because this is the first time Spanish full. We had three full Spanish songs, and I had recorded other people before, but you kind of understood the language that I was speaking. Right? That comes to the whole like not language in English and Spanish. There was a certain connection. There was no communication barrier. You were curious enough to ask questions, and you weren't like you were humble enough to ask, fool.
yeah,
And then I was like, oh shit, like this fool is me when I was younger. Like I wish I had somebody like that trying to teach me. And I had to go find So Real, right? So at that point, I was like, I'm gonna just do what So Real did for me, help this fool out, Spanish, and then I also became a better engineer because of that, right? I had to mix and master it, dog. I had to learn Logic because of that. If it wasn't for you, fool, and then you hitting me up to do the song, I don't think I'll take serious like music, the Spanish music a little bit more serious because it also gave me a new, it rejuvenated me, dog. Because I was feeling burnt out with everything else at that point,
yeah.
and I was dealing with a lot of health issues, and at that point, I was like doubting music, and then it was because of you and the grime life shit that it kind of like gave me an inspiration for the rest of 2022 and shit. And it happened so quick. Fool, it happened like end of the year 2021. Quick. Remember that shit?
Yeah. It's like when you not that happened to me, but you meet a girl and fuck it, you fall in love, have a baby the first year. You know what I mean? It's like that type of like analogy.
Quick.
You feel me?
Yeah, no, it was like it was surprising, dog, how quick it just everything just one song led to the other, dog, and there was like I said, I think the communication barrier, and I think it was the Mexican in us, the
Yeah,
Mexicano shit, dog, because there's certain jokes, fool, that there's certain fools that you can't say certain things around because they're not gonna get it. So you
yeah,
keep that
exactly,
information inside.
yeah,
But when you
exactly.
finally find somebody that you could release those parts of you that you've always kind
Hmm.
of like hidden from the rest of the world, you feel like to me it just felt like destiny, dog. Like
Yeah,
there was a reason why we connected years before, and then we did this whole ass project. Do you remember how we came up with the name?
but yeah, we went through a couple of them, you know, and then at that point, like I really fucked with the J Electronica, a J Electronica song called Exhibit C, I think, and I think he does have Exhibit A and all that, but we wanted to take it like as a it was like a museum, right? Like an actual art piece, and hence Exhibit A.
It's funny. That's where I got the fucking name for the podcast, dog. I was I was trying to like figure out a new name for the podcast because originally it was called Platicas, and
Yeah,
I wanted to change it and I wanted to give it a name that kind of represented some kind of like collection of stories. And at that time, I think I went on SoundCloud and I seen the fucking the tape, the Exhibit A.
yeah,
I was like the word exhibit. I was like, boom, there it is. I was like, yeah, there it is. And I was like, that's literally where the name for the podcast came from, was from Exhibit A and shit. And I was like, that's the same fucking concept, same idea, except we were over here doing it with music. I'm trying to do it over here with audio or podcasts. You know what I'm saying? So that's a little side story about the history of this podcast.
I feel like we should do one in person.
That's the goal. The goal is to eventually turn this in person in person podcast. I just want to keep it digital as much as I can because I want to cover a lot of the stories of people that I know that I met in college.
Yeah.
You know, because they would have to fly in and all that. Um, but the goal is to eventually turn this
Yeah,
podcast
or
an
like maybe like
in-person
another
podcast
segment, another segment or type shit.
or some kind of. We could do something else besides
Yeah,
the podcast.
yeah, it should be
Um,
dope.
but a lot of those sessions you would pull up and I would be like, I'm not gonna drink. There was like one or two times where I didn't drink, but
Yeah,
for we would
yeah.
black out, dog. I remember I used to. I think I have some clips. I deleted my Instagram, but there's some clips and there's a video that I have called my life story, my life during 2018 through 2023 according to my IG stories. And there's some certain clips where we're chilling. Cuando no es tequila, güey, it's ultras. Cuando no es ultras, son modelos. Cuando no son modelos, it was remember there was like a 2 week period where we were drinking fucking E&J, right? Or some VSOP or some shit, dog. Like,
Whatever was there.
whatever. I had that fireball for years up until that point.
Well, we drank an expired Fireball.
Oh my, that shit was so fucking nasty, but
It did its job though.
it did its fucking job. Talk about your inspiration behind some of the tracks of Exhibit A because there's certain verses that you already had before, right? That kind of fit the
Yeah.
wave and the direction that we were trying to take it. Well, what was your inspiration behind like say rugged rap, right? Because it's the first one, and you know that was like one of the
Well,
first ones we recorded.
that shit I wrote it around like when Griselda started popping off crazy, you know. So it's kind of on the like grimy, whatever, like that type of vibe. I don't know if I was that was directly my inspiration, but that was definitely like the sound that I wanted to express, or I was just feeling that way. That shit's a powerful fucking, just the beat, the way it drops, and I was really feeling that shit. I mean, everything I say, I really feel it, or else I don't say it, but it's almost like angry. You know what I mean? A little bit of
Yeah,
anger, or uh, I don't know, so like a catharsis type shit. About I was feeling about like the rugged rap versus mumble rap, and how we wanted to keep the rugged rap, alive, and till this day, I mean, we're still doing it.
I think that's the reason why it was the first song on the tape.
Yeah,
Because once I heard it, I knew right away. Like when I heard the beat
yeah.
and I heard when I first heard you spit the
I
verse
even
over the
already had
beat.
the intro in my Remember, like, what should be the
Yeah,
intro? And I'm like, I got you. I already
yeah.
know.
T-Pain talking about you need to stop doing that. Whatever the fuck
Yeah,
he says this shit.
yeah,
That was when I first heard it, I'm telling you, when you spit it, when you were practicing the track here and you recorded it, I knew right away that was the first song. I knew right away that was we have to start off super strong. We have to hit them right immediately, left hook
yeah.
type
It
shit.
had the energy. It had the vibe we were going for to like introduce the whole tape. Yeah, it made the most sense.
Then the second song, Spanish, right? It's a Spanish song. Talk about the three Spanish songs that we did. We did the second track, then we did the song with Chico Sergio, which is we would go 4 bar, 4 bar, 4 bar, and then Veneno. Oh, and Veneno was the first one, right? That's the first song that kicked it off. But I think it might have been the second to last song we finished recording. That you already came with the concept, right, of snakes
Right.
and shit, right? That's what we called it, Veneno. and everything. What about
Yeah.
the go
Well,
ahead, you were gonna say?
no, I'm saying like the whole, it always have been like about the going back to the cover two of the single, just the eagle eating the snake and adding a little bit of Mexican uh art or
Coach
inspiration
culture,
there.
whatever this shit is.
Yeah, whatever. A little sprinkle, you know. I feel like that's always been my thing now, like sprinkle a little bit of that background on shit.
I remember when I made the hook, I was so I mean I'm still am, but that's when I was getting into like a lot of corrido tumbado and shit.
Yeah,
Like corridos tumbados and shit. I was like
yeah.
getting into them like heavy dog at the time. So that's kind of like how I made the hook to sound a little bit like I was kind of doing like a corrido and shit. It was the first
Mm.
time I ever did some kind of like singing type of hook and shit, and ever since then I haven't really stopped. Uh, but the song where we did with Chico Sergio, the concept, the because it was just gonna be us two. Remember, I would do 4 bars, you would do four
Mm.
bars. But I had already done a song with Chico Sergio, and we were connecting, and you had connect with this fool too. And I was like, let's
Which was
put
global, right?
which is global, but then we had some other shit on the side with him, and then you had some stuff with him. But that right there, dog, La Conexión is to me that's probably like my second favorite track on that tape, just
Yeah, we
because
got random love in Spain and shit.
yeah, like it was just like random, right? It was just random as 4 4 4 4. This is a random different kind of like we all brought our own different like style to it, and we highlighted different forms of Spanish rap.
Yeah.
But Grime Life, Grime Life to me, that was probably like my best verse on the whole tape. What do you feel was your best verse on that tape? Rugged rap or what?
For some reason, I really like Exodia.
Oh, you like your Exodia verse?
I mean, they're all hard, but
It's kind of hard to rank them, but I'll be
yeah,
honest with
probably
you.
Exodia and Rugged Rap for sure.
Yeah, I think that
Either
rugged
one, they're
rap
both
funk.
like contenders for first.
Yeah, if you were to ask me, dog, like if to pick the two best verses on that tape is your rugged rap verse, and I would say that my verse on Grime Life is probably the two best verses on that whole tape, dog. But I mean,
That's
they're all dope.
my favorite verse from you ever was that one,
That shit is
Grom Life.
something possessed. I remember I was in the super, super excited to write to that song. I will never forget that shit. And I heard when we picked the beat, because I would do my shit on the side just to save time during the sessions. And when I finally started writing to it, dog, it was quick. It was super quick.
I think I wrote that one in your house, just right there.
And like I said, if it's blurry for you, it might, some certain days and certain parts of that process, which I wish we were, at least because it was my spot. I wish I was smart enough to kind of like connect my camera and record a lot of these sessions, for just to
Yeah,
do like a little documentary about it. And I try to do it, and there's certain clips here and there, but we never really put together like a vlog or anything. That's kind of the only,
I mean, we'll do it for B though.
and we'll do it for Exhibit B and shit. Any any specific memory you would like to share about the process of making Exhibit A? We kind of already talked about the music videos and how we used to be blacked out, but is there a specific story behind a certain song, like an inspiration to one of the verses? Because we did have a lot of themes. It was theme
Yeah,
heavy, and that's kind of the way I approached the music, and we did it like certain different themes. But is there a certain theme that was drawn from like a like a real harsh event or something like that?
no, well, what I really, I don't know if this answers the question, but what I, well, if anything, while I think about it, I want to say that one thing I did get from that was like usually I learned a lot of structure, like from because I've never been like super hook driven. Like to me, that's the verses and but you're like, no, we need a hook here. We need a you go in 10 bar or whatever, like spit here and then meat and all that type of shit. Again, to me, that's like part of the boring part, you know. 'Cause I just fucking go in, right, and then we'll split whatever. But learning that there's actual process and like fuck, like it's not always so instant as I would like it to be. You know, because I go in like I'll spit my shit in one take if I have to. Not if I have to, but if they're really feeling that shit, it takes me like one or three, four takes max, and I'm fucking done. But like, what was the other thing? Like punching in and all that shit. Like I wasn't really doing a lot of that shit. So now I do. I learn how to do it. Sometimes it sounds better, even though you don't need to. It sounds better. So like the
Yeah.
whole experience of creating an experience, or you know, that shit is something I really enjoyed from it. Because it like gave me a blueprint of how I should be doing it for my future, for anything in the future. So that
I
was
think
fucking like that
there
was
was
super
a
fucking dope.
one of the inspirations going back to the Grime Life track. There's a line in there that I talk about fools stealing copper, right? Because there was a at some point I don't know who the fuck did it, right? But they were fixing the you know how I got the trains right here.
Yeah,
They had like a copper, you know how they have those big ass barrels, big ass fucking rolls of copper. I don't know who the fuck left a big ass roll of copper, dog. Like a fucking one of those big ass ones, like
yeah,
industrial size copper line roll, just right there chilling. They stole it. And after that, they had to install cameras, fool. That was the excuse for the cameras. I don't know if that's the true story, but
right.
that and I'm gonna stick to that story because that's the story that was given to me. Down Long Beach, there's these like towers, those camera towers and shit that weren't there before that. And after that event supposedly happened, they started showing up. Those LAPD though, you know what I'm talking about? Those like they're not. There's nobody there. It's just like these fucking remote cameras and shit.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
ever
The
seen
ones
one?
that they look like they're like whole 360, right? They have like
Yeah,
they're taking a video of like the whole
yeah. It looks like a lifeguard house and shit. Just standing on top of like a fucking mini
right.
crane or I don't really kind of know how to explain it. So to me, that was like I drew a lot of inspiration from current events. Right, the same with the song "Surrounded." Right, I was just kind of exploring sobriety at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Had dealt with, I think we all had our own experience with drugs and shit. So I would draw experience inspiration from that. The name Exodia, that obviously that was kind of inspired by Yu-Gi-Oh because I was into Yu-Gi-Oh at that time. Was there any that was my original question. What was your inspiration for a lot of the lyrics themselves? Was it just your life, like you said, or was there certain elements that were kind of like
I feel like
dictating the
right there I
direction of
was
your verses
barely
and shit?
trying to like like mix it in there. Like, I was still not. Now everything I write's about me, but I guess so. Yeah, I was starting to like throw it in, but at the same time try to be lyrical.
So that was
But
that kind of the switch that you were talking about earlier.
yeah, I was noticing a shift in my writing, and even Spanish was getting introduced, and structure, just more discipline, and you know
Mm.
that type of shit. But to pinpoint a specific, like, I don't know. I can't even think about the lyrics off the top of my head right now. Like, so I can't,
Uh,
you know. I know
uh,
what I remember the themes,
uh,
So obviously the surrounded was probably the one with the deepest.
yeah, because it was about substance abuse and
Yeah.
drinking and shit.
It was the demons and the vices or whatever, the
Yeah.
deadly sins and shit.
That was a fun hook to create. Remember we were sitting down writing
The
I don't
words
know
and shit.
16, I think it was like 16 words, 12, 16 words and shit. And
Yeah.
like, oh, that'd be dope for this to be like the secondary hook, like kind of like a bridge and shit. Big shout out to your wife though. Shout out to Cass. She she did my hair during the music video for the music video. the Grime Life music video. You know, at the time I had long hair and I got my two braids and shit. And shout out to Cass and her business. That was fun. That's probably like a little insider knowledge behind the scenes of how we were filming and putting together the rollout of the tape. But we finished Exhibit A. We released it early 2022, and then we kind of do our own, kind of content around the music itself. I was still kind of like learning about how to do content, and we're kind of doing it at our own pace, and we're trying to like figure out how to do it and how it's gonna work. But then you kind of go back to doing your own solo stuff. I go back to doing my own solo stuff. After Exhibit A, what was Pobreza up to?
What the fuck was I up to? I just kept working, I guess, and that's what I'm saying, bro. Memory, bro. After Exhibit A, did I drop anything? I just kept writing. I mean,
You
that's
did
when
that
I had linked
song.
up.
I think you
I linked
did.
up with Prez and shit, and
Oh yeah.
we recorded multiple songs, but the one that came out was the the one that did.
Hmm. Before we talk about the Press Sinatra collab, we straight up forgot to mention this shit. You went from I've been flowing to Craft Star to Dutch Mouth. Quickly talk about where the name Dutch Mouth comes from, because I still call you Dutch and Dutch Mouth, right? But
I mean, I feel like that shit always. I don't know if it might come back around or not, but yeah, I feel like it was. It all been like stages of my rap. You know, the whole I've been flowing was just me. Like I didn't. I wanted to incorporate my name and make it sound dope, and I was rapping right, and I thought I was dope. Then Craft Star, that's when I was like super getting into like a persona, like underground, and like I said, the whole Red Man shit, and I wanted to be, you know, whatever I want. I just felt like I needed to make that. I evolved. It's always been an evolving thing. Like I've never stayed. I've always changed a little bit.
yeah,
Like, I mean, who you got to, right? You got to change. You can't just be the same motherfucker of 50 years and shit. What was that quote from Ali?
I don't know. This
Like
fool had a
he
lot of
says
interesting quotes.
he says some shit about if you're the same man at
Oh
50
yeah,
that you were at 25 or whatever, like you just wasted 25 years of your
yeah, I
life.
remember that quote. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Something like that, right? Along these lines. So whatever. I started like smoking heavy, learned the whole craft start. Well, since forever, right? I was just smoking and smoking, but I remember going around one of Travel's cousins, and he would always like smoke chocolate Dutch Masters. And every time I go over there to their house, it would be chocolate Dutch Masters, and that became a thing. So like I kind of brought it back to like in my own time. Like I used to always make sure to get chocolate Dutch Masters, and they'll burn
Yeah.
for a long ass time, like 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and just being at home and shit, I roll it up, and I would never have the chance to smoke. And shit always come up, and I'll just have it here. You know what I mean? In my mouth for a long time, and then at the end, I just liked having it there. Like it was just my thing. Like I just had to have it like a fucking cigar, and then plus I would just be smoking and smoking. I used to smoke a lot, not as much as like the real connoisseurs, just regular, a lot regular.
Not like the homies and shit.
Yeah, just normal shit, but a lot. Not like Dre, where like they would smoke super exotic. Like I never been a super exotic weed smoker. Smoke mid, a lot of it. you know.
Well, we could afford this shit.
Yeah, a lot of mid, but I have my era of like 2 3 years where nothing but like heavy blunt smoking, beer drinking. So then I'm like, man, I need something more fly, more like Craft Stars. Like Craft Stars getting old. Like I need something fly but sounds dope, and something that represents me now. And there was no rapper with such name, so I wrote it down one time. Just Dutch mouth with they spelled mouth with the MOUFFF, two F's, and it just looked dope. It sounded dope, and it sounded weird. Like who the fuck? Why the fuck? You know?
Yeah,
'Cause you
unique.
don't know what to expect and shit.
Yep.
And then, but some people didn't get it. Some people were like, "What the fuck? What kind of rap name is that?" And a lot of and then underground heads like youth was like, "Damn, that shit is hard." But
Yeah, because we know what the fuck. Yeah.
yeah, but I mean, eventually I stopped smoking, so you know, who am I to fucking be Dutch mouth when I haven't, you know, I don't, I don't
Yeah.
interact with any Dutches anymore.
Yeah.
So
Then your current name, Pobreza, right?
yeah, that's not. I wouldn't even call it my name. Like I didn't want to be a name anymore. I want to be like I represent. I want to be representing like pobreza and like not going back. Like just a reminder not to go back and like
The
don't let it come
statement.
back. Don't stay away or
Okay.
you know. Not just I'm Ivan. You know, I've always been Ivan. I like Ivan. I'm Ivan to everybody. So, but I mean, I Dutch mouth. You know you and
That's your contact on my phone. It's still Dutch mouth.
yeah, like
Even the notes, that's still Dutch mouth.
Dre or like his brother or whatever. They still be like hey, Kraft. You know, they still call me Kraft.
Uh,
You know,
so people call you based on the name when they met you.
yeah,
Uh, that's dope. That's
yeah,
interesting. Yeah,
exactly.
it's I forget. Like I have to refer to you as Pobreza because by
And to
knowing
me, it sounds
I'm
weird. It doesn't sound weird, but
Dutch.
it's like it's something new still. So
It's a hard name too, dog. I just got used to calling you
yeah,
Dutch, so it's difficult for me
yeah,
because we did the whole Exhibit A. We connected on some human shit, dog, like that, like on O3 and
yeah.
Dutch.
A lot of people like use their nickname or their graffiti name. Like I don't really have a nickname because nicknames you somebody got to give you a nickname. Like you
Nah,
can't give yourself a nickname. You know,
I
like, I
did,
don't think it
fool.
works like that.
I did. I gave myself O3.
I'm saying, but that's your artist name. Like to me, it
Uh,
was hard. Like due to the constant evolving thing that I just talked about.
nah, even Big Rowdy, I give that shit to myself.
I don't have
No, never. I take that
like
back. Somebody give it to me.
a name. Like a name. Like I don't know. Just Ivan. I like being myself.
Your government name and shit.
Yeah. Well, my first name is Jose, but at home nobody called me that. Only at school. So I didn't never got used to getting called that. Ivan is my middle name.
Multiple name changes, but
Yeah.
just for context, the name Pobreza, where is that inspired from? Where'd you draw inspiration for that name?
Well, that word inspired Pobres Tacos
Oh, okay.
because I had wrote when I came up with the name. I had wrote a bunch of names for the tacos, and I remember one time like I went to visit my uncles in Oxnard in Santa Paula, and then he had a license plate that he had just bought. He didn't put it on his car yet. He just had it like on a center console, and it was just right there sitting. And I don't know where we were going. I looked at it, and I was like, "What the fuck?" And it said that, and it said it with an S. And then I don't know. I just felt like something. I just felt something, and I just like, damn, like he's not like he's repping to be poor. He's just like repping that the fact that he was like, you know what I'm saying? That like
Yeah, it's
that's a
like a
big part of
statement. It's a statement of
yeah,
it's a statement of identity. Like I used to be this.
exactly. You know, it's always there. Even if it's not happening, you was there. Happening to a lot of people, happening to a lot of kids. It shouldn't be, you know.
It's almost a way of life too.
Yeah.
Maybe the
For
poor. What is it? A
we
poor
are the
man's
way we are
mentality.
because of that.
Whatever. Yeah.
A lot of people are the way they are because of it. A lot of the way I am is because of it. You know, and
Yeah,
I
they
owe
call
the
it
I owe my
the.
hunger to it. I owe my drive. I owe everything to that. To not having shit.
I think that's the name of it. Is the poor the poor mentality or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
A working class mentality. It's something I think that's the way the poor, the mentality of the poor, right? That people use that in politics, like when self-help and all these
Right.
like identity workshops and all that shit is like, oh, you're poor because you think like a poor person, and when you're on this side, it's not like it's a mentality or anything. Like I don't think like that. It's just the way things are.
Exactly.
So that's a
Like the
good
tacos
good.
came about from that, from being broke and
That's a
not
good
having
name too
shit.
for yeah.
So I mean, I just, who knows what's next. I mean, I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but who knows what's gonna be,
Mm.
or if that's gonna be the name that everybody recognizes. I'm looking. Dre's gonna design a dope logo for me, and I mean, I I replaced the because it's originally spelled with the Z. I replaced that with the money sign, so make it like uh, contradiction type shit, like money,
Mm.
because everything revolves around it, I guess. So to be or not to be, whatever, to have money or not to have it. That's just what makes the world go around, and either you're on this side or the other side. And I feel like with that shirt, I'm already envisioning it. I'm already thinking, looking at a shirt for my head.
Thinking too
But
far ahead.
yeah, but
Yeah.
you know, that's just what it is. That's where I'm at now. Like being vocal about that. I was, that
Hmm.
where I was or where I come from. It's poverty. Like not, my bro, from the slums of like nothing, bro. Like not even LA. Straight from the slums of Tijuana. I could have
But a
been over
different
there like
life.
in the canales and shit, like shooting up. Like that was the way my fucking life was looking was that like, and where I was born, where my mom had me, where you know, all her fucking story is just crazy too. I have no business. Not I have no business, but like being here is just already a miracle. Being here in front of this nice computer that I got, it's like
Well,
it's
speaking of
always a fucking.
names, my bad, my bad. You finish? Finish your thought.
I'm saying it's always a fucking like a reminder. I even like the other day I went to Home Depot, right? I was doing some job, and just seeing my people there for like begging me to give, to help them out and give like take me, and I wasn't even there for that. I was there to pick up some like boxes or whatever that I needed to move some shit. And I'm just like, this is where we are. This is their life. This is how they might stay like this. And I should have done almost like imposter syndrome I had real quick. I was like, fuck, what the fuck? Like, I feel bad for these motherfuckers, but a lot of them, I forgot what the fuck. I have some shit where I say, like some people like were meant to be like, it's meant to be poor, and I don't feel like I was. And that's kind of like, sounds a little selfish, but I always have that drive, and I'm always like, nah, I'm not gonna die broke. Like, I'm gonna die rich. And that's obviously money. I don't think buys happiness, but it does to an extent because it buys comfort. It's gonna buy my kids a meal. Tell you that. Am I gonna be fucking sad if my kids don't have a meal? Yeah. So does it buy happiness? Yes, it fucking does. And you know who says, "Oh, money ain't everything"? People that ain't never been hungry. People that ain't never been homeless. Cause when you know the value, like every dollar counts at some point, bro. And seeing those people, bro, that shit is fucking disturbing. Cause a lot of them don't have ambitions or dreams or goals. That shit is fucked up. They're locked in. Like I go to MacArthur Park, drive by sometimes, and I'm just like, fuck. A lot of these people are gonna stay here, and that's it. And to me, that shit haunts me to think that one day I'm like that. I'm not that I'm gonna die like that. Like not being shit. Nah, I can't live with that. Therefore, I do everything I do. You know what I mean?
Pobreza. Yeah. Representing the struggle. But
Yeah,
look, for all the names that you've had, dog, like they've never been white. You feel me? So you've
yeah.
you've never had a miss in terms of your names.
I've never been afraid to change either. Like it's just like I don't feel that representing me. I fucking move on. Like you gotta evolve one way or another.
Yeah, true that.
And
I
I never like feel like I had to keep the same fucking name. And obviously, you gotta be identified by something. But I'm just not in. I'm not doing the norm. I'm not like I'm not dying to fucking go and for you to hear me rap. Like no, bro.
yeah.
Like I'm just in a different like my different state of mind right now. Like, I want to get this money, but I see like I want to be on some like I could like I want to have my going back to what we were talking about behind the camera. Like, but you still haven't even asked about the like producers I want to fuck with and all that shit. Like, it's on a completely different vibe. I already spoiled it, but
Yeah, we can talk about it right now.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
the Dream Collabs who producers.
producer, I'd have to. It's either between Mugs or Alchemist or both.
Yeah,
I mean,
there's nobody else. Huh?
yeah, like that. That's my lane.
I think
Those
the same
and
way. Yeah.
that's about it. From there, I mean, everybody in their camps. Anybody would be fucking dope to artist wise, like to fuck with. You know, they just have the whole shit they're doing is fucking hella crazy, hella dope.
What about or Derringer? I add Derringer to the list.
Daringer's cool too, but I feel like he's dope. He has sick ass beats. Don't get me wrong, but I don't really know Daringer.
What about Conductor?
Like we don't see much of like Daringer. You know what I mean? Like
You fuck with Conductor Williams?
Conductor's dope. Yeah,
Yeah.
Conductor Williams. He's. I mean, he got songs with Drake now and everything. So he's fucking. He's up there for sure.
What about any Dream collabs with any rappers? Any rapper?
You probably have to be like probably like in the Spanish in Alemán for sure. Who I mean in English, it'll be dope to have one with like the Yodis because of the whole like Mexican shit they got going on. I fuck with Crime Apple. You know, anything that's related to like you know the raza or but not like no gangster rap Chicanos like shit. No disrespect to them, but
Like LA underground scene?
it's slowly creeping in. And not even LA underground scene. He could be from wherever. Like Crime Apple, I think he's from New York,
Nah, we're just
Colombia, New York.
spoiled. We're just spoiled because we're from LA. That's a big scene over here.
Yeah, but
You
I
ever
just want to keep making music with you, and Dre, getting back on the mic, and you know,
yeah, I mean Exhibit B what happened?
yeah,
Right? So that would
what's happening?
it's happening. It's
Yeah.
already in the works. Right? We just need to put a little bit more energy into it. What is it called? I like this quote. Energy, where is it? Where the mind goes, energy flows, or some shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I haven't really been thinking about it, and we haven't really chopped it up about it. But when we do sit down and plan some shit always comes out of it.
Yeah.
Whether
Once
it's
the
we
ball
choose
starts
some beats
rolling,
and shit and all that, but
once we get
uh,
that the snowball effect, it's a wrap.
it's obviously gonna be different, right? Because we're not gonna be getting blacked out all the time. But Exhibit B, I'm excited for that shit, dog.
Yeah,
Um,
hell yeah. Me
we
too.
we kind of like tabled this topic a little bit, but since we dropped Exhibit A, you did these collabs with Dre, right? Did a couple collabs with Crime or Christian Rhymes, and then you collab with Press Sinatra. Or what other kind of music have you been working on since Exhibit A? It's been like almost honestly, if we dropped it around this time, like
Yeah.
3 years ago. So it's been 3 years, fool.
Mm-hmm.
Almost to the date since we dropped Exhibit A. That's crazy. Uh,
It's
what
been a
is What have you been up to? Like a quick summary full of
Yeah,
anything
well, I got
interesting?
my new bachata album coming in 2026. Imagine.
Or you try making beats too, huh?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like I said, I just got this new computer, so like I just need to like this year sit down and learn. Like, I mean, I got my machine, my beat machines and stuff, but sit down and get the like set the mic back up because I kind of like strayed away from it like the end of last year. From mid to end of last year, I was just been like business and family and my kid. You know, I have a newborn. Well, not newborn. He's one now, but it's different. Good. Can you move? Go. Yeah. Okay. Oh yeah. Pardon me.
All right, good fool. This is the
But
last
yeah.
question. This is the last question right here. Or you have anything else you want to add before we hit the last question?
Nah. We're good.
No?
Everything. We're good. We're good.
This has to do
I'll save a lot of shit for
for,
personal. You know.
for the exhibit B. We'll talk about it. We'll pick some themes and everything. But okay, last question. What is your thought or your thoughts on artists having to make content for social media
How
in
do I
order to have
feel?
like yeah, how do you feel about artists almost at this point being a necessity for them or for us to create content on social media just to have a chance of being heard?
It fucking sucks. You know, cause like it's not like SoundCloud where like okay, you go, you explore, you click, you get on your genre, and then you find a lot of random artists, and you like some shit, you hear it, you fuck with them, you follow them, and wait for the songs to come out, right? Now you gotta fucking do a lot of promotion. Maybe because I suck at it, I don't like it, but I mean, it's probably fun. I mean, it's fun. I like making like little like I have like two or three freestyle videos. Like again, I stopped doing that for a while, but all that shit is fun to an extent, but having to keep up with the algorithm is kind of draining, you know. And people have to do that. Have to keep content coming. If not, they feel like they're gonna be left behind. Like I don't want to live with that type of fear, if you want to call it.
Mm.
Like, you know, that's why I feel like the tacos keeps me relevant, even though I don't. Since I'm not posting a lot of music or people still know because I talk. I meet a lot of people when I show them shit, and like they know, and I'm out in the street. It's not like I'm just not seen anymore. Like
Hmm.
so.
So you exist outside of the digital space
Yeah, yeah. I'm
more than you
outside.
exist inside the
Yeah,
digital space.
yeah.
You talked about those freestyle videos, and you say you kind of stopped doing them. Is there a plan to start doing those again? Because that in itself is like one of the most common pieces of content that an
Yeah,
artist could
I do.
do.
I do. Once I set the mic back up and everything and learn how to set up a mic again, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, that content is so easy to just knock out for,
Yeah. So,
and it works for it.
and I'll
It's
spend like
dope
mad
content.
nights, like all nights, like 3, 4 in the morning, just like making sure I get the right take and then boom, put it out.
Mm, that's dope.
But sometimes like the drive doesn't like, just the hunger goes different, you know. Because when I fucking lock in, I lock in, and I haven't really locked in on making freestyles. I've been writing a lot of shit that I want to put out as singles or shit like that. But like a lot of that shit was again rapidy rap. You know, I haven't been able to rapidly rap, so like, right now I'm like all singles. Yeah,
But we've come to the end, my boy. This has been a great talk. Went
yeah,
down memory lane just a little bit.
yeah.
Final words about your music journey.
I feel like the best part hasn't started yet. You know, like I want to make adult rap. You know,
The
like
mature rap, fool?
I'm about to be 28 in a couple of days, and my whole rap, the way of rapping changed, the way of writing changed, and I'm just excited to put it out, you know. Business wise, just move forward, move up this year.
For
Want to
sure.
get fit, get in shape, cut down on the drinking. I stopped drinking ultras. Yeah,
What drinking now? It's like the healthiest shit you could drink.
yeah. Well, just coffee and water, and
Oh,
then
so you're not
like
drinking?
on special occasions, I'll drink like tequila.
For sure.
Put tequila in my black coffee. Not right now, but
Just to wake up and
you know,
shit?
something
Wake up and
just if
feel
I
good?
it depends, but nah, not as before. Not like you know,
Yeah.
not definitely not like before.
Yeah.
Eat
Whoa.
healthy for the most part.
Well, thank you, big dog. Thank you for joining me and take some time out of your night.
Oh,
I
no
know it
doubt,
gets
bro.
busier for you towards the second half of the week,
Yeah,
but it's been dope hearing about your music journey. We'll continue working on some music out offline, and we'll continue this conversation offline.
yeah.
But other than that, it's your boy Othree signing off. Don't forget to love yourself today. All right,
All right, bro.
adios.